Alright, so Festival, Zeldris, and Chandler had released on JP today, and from the results I'm seeing, one is extremely good, and one is pretty sorry. Not so sorry that they're like terrible, but one is a bit mediocre, I would say. That's the best way to explain the unit. And luckily for me, because I care about Chandler more, the sorry one is Zeldris. Yeah, the festival is sorry. I would say this Zeldris is probably top three worst festivals we have in Grand Cross right now. Because first off, I feel like this cut effect is the most stupidest effect in the game. Basically the cut makes it that you're not able to crit, but you do 50% more damage. Based off how much crit damage you have, which is just like, would you rather have 50% crit damage added to your regular attack, or be able to crit and use all your crit damage? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me, right? So because of that, he does no damage at all. He can never crit, so he does no damage at all. This Dissolve card is pretty good. It does come in clutch a lot of the times, but that's really it. And against Assault Mode Meliodas is when they all rush, because it's not an attacking card, you won't proc his thing, so that's pretty good. Then his ultimate does nothing. Like, I mean, if you fight another Assault Mode, which you're most likely going to start fighting a lot of times now in PvP, you're going to be... This is not going to really go off, because Zeldris, again, this card... A lot of people are running the Zeldris, and they're using this card, and nobody's getting ultimate like that. Now, his passive... his passive is kind of mid, to be honest. Like, I thought this was a lot better on paper yesterday, but after today, it doesn't really affect as much as you thought it, as much as you think it would. Maybe with Keo, but I'm not sure. Nobody has done a showcase with him and Keo yet, so you got that right. Now, the commandment is I'm pretty sure. I feel like from what I've seen on showcases and stuff, the commandment is what hurts him the most. It doesn't hurt him, but it hurts your team so much. Because, again, you're most likely going to run him with Assault Mode Meliodas, if you please. And if Assault Mode Meliodas crits, this is not like a debuff card like how Esterosa's or Gloxinia's, when you attack or whatever, it's a debuff card. It just gets implemented into your stats. So when you crit, you lose 10% crit chance and crit damage. And if you crit 3 times, you lose 30% crit chance and crit damage. And it's there for the rest of the game. It can't be removed, it can't be cleansed, nothing. It's just implemented into your stats. And obviously, Assault has a Rupture card, an AoE Rupture card that hits 50 times. He's bound to crit once out of those times, right? Unless you go up against a Liz with her shield active or activated. And then, of course, because of his passive, he's just going to keep building up crit, but the commandment is just going to cuck it every time he does crit. So, you know, there is that. Now, again, I do not think his stats are... I mean, he has high attack for sure. He does, but he does not do damage. And I truly, it's because of the crit. He does no damage, right? And he has insane crit. Like, this is just rude. He has so much crit damage, no crit chance. Like, imagine if he had this crit damage with this crit chance. You know how broken he would be? Especially if he was able to crit with this card, because this card hits like 5 million times actually. It's actually broken, but the way it looks, I should say. But Zeldris is pretty mid. On global, when you're summoning on this banner, you're not summoning for Zeldris. I'm going to be honest, you're summoning for my boy, Chandler. Everybody yesterday was like, who cares about Chandler? Now everybody wants him. It's crazy, right? Now, Chandler has insane CC, first of all. If we compare... My bad if you guys hear noise in the background. I don't know, my sister is yelling, but... well, she's calling my other sister. But if you guys see here... He has 588 CC. I keep saying she because my sister keeps calling my other sister. But he has more CC than Escanor, the one Escanor. Now, one thing that's busted about Chandler, he has the highest base CC in the game. The only other person that has high CC like this, or a high HP like this, is Tarmiel. And as you see, Escanor has 7,000. He basically has another headpiece with this the HP on his base. Like, Chandler's a tank. And he's actually crazy. Now, this skill right here, the first skill, the Valenti skill, it's not really a damage skill. I mean, it does damage, but barely. It's more of just a debuff card than a damaging card. So, like, if you're not going to use this, I don't know how well it would be with an attack set on, but you're not going to really be using this skill for mad damage. I feel like it may be with an attack set. It's going to be a lot better than what it is with an HP set. But if you're using an HP set, the most you're going to get with this at least is like 30k, the highest you're going to do. That's not really crazy, but it's still very good because, again, it nullifies all blue text on a skill or ultimate. So regardless, even if it barely does damage, it still has that effect that carries him up there. Now, this taunt is the most broken. It's so broken. Because it does on level 1, I did not expect to do 50%. So it's half the damage that does, or that gets taken or gets added into your hit. So if you are if let's say Escanor does 1,000 or 100k, right? Let's say Escanor does 100k. If he hits this Chandler for 100k, Chandler will basically do damage and then add 50k onto what he's supposed to be doing. It's so broken. It's so broken, bro. Then his ultimate is pretty, natural, pretty average. It's still very good though. And then his passive is so good. I was watching showcases and there was one time where Escanor attacked 3 times. The first time he didn't kill Chandler, and that's where he was not going to kill. It's like if you don't kill the first time you attack with Escanor, he's not killing the rest of the turn. Because this procs when he uses the card, so he would proc this, right? And then boom, 7% gone. He would keep attacking and boom, and then Chandler's just going to keep life stealing and stuff like that. And yeah, it's actually so broken. It's so broken, bro. It's so broken, bro. Chandler is definitely what you want to do. I wouldn't recommend summoning just for Chandler, but I'm definitely going to summon for Chandler. I should say, if you really hate the one so much and you want to stop him, Chandler can definitely get the job done. And one thing about Chandler is you do not have to run a Assault Mode Meliodas with him. When I do get him, I will not be using Assault Mode with him. I will be using Tarmio, Estarossa. I definitely want to try him, then Zell and Estarossa on one team and see what happens if someone AoEs, how brutal that's going to be. But definitely Tarmio, Estarossa, and Chandler is going to be broken. So that's what I think. I think this is a skip because banner is not really good and Chandler is really the only option. Assault Mode is like practically impossible to pull off the banner. So there's that. But you guys let me know what you think. I'm Zexus. I'm out. Peace.